And welcome in to another Monday Night live stream. Tonight we're going to talk about Rivendell. For those wondering what I'm drinking, currently Mike's Lemonade. Zero sugar, of course. And if you know why, you know why. Um, anyway, let's get started to see who's here. Radio Lycansure is here. And of course, chat's not on the screen. There's Radio. Welcome in. He wants to see bulk import. We will touch on that later. Why Not Gus is here. Welcome in, Why Not Gus. He is describing how to use bulk import. We'll get there. Toro is here. Welcome in. Stop and Think. Hank, welcome in. Bob Carpenter is here. Surprised David Grishko is not here. He's usually the first one in. And of course my chat is still acting up, so let me reload the page. I did take a screen grab of the developer console and send it to Aaron Parecki just to see if it was some insight or whatever it is, because he acknowledged the other day during his stream that he doesn't see it on his computer, but Lily's does, and that he's doesn't understand what's wrong or what's different. So hopefully with some insight and troubleshooting from others, we can figure this out. Tech for Fun, Joe is in. Yes, they make a no sugar version, and I have 2 of them, so probably a good thing they're no sugar. For those of you wondering or wanting to know, I don't do beers. I don't like beer, but like a Mike's Hard or some kind of mixed drink, I'm all about that. But straight up beer, not a fan. Sorry, just not a fan. Alrighty, so let's see here. Anybody else here yet? Or is probably chat still broken? If I had to take a wild guess. And there's David. Yeah, you're not early today. And yeah, I definitely chat. I gotta. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm in the wrong version of chat. There we go. Joe says this is gonna be a fun stream. Speaking of Joe, we should probably go check on the JAU counter, do a reset of it, and get it started. 6 minutes or so, but you know, hey, I don't think this is going to be a short stream. Let me just put it that way, because Rivendell is not exactly easy. I mean, it is, but it isn't. They've made it a lot easier. I will tell you that right now. That it is a lot easier to install. I did do a test install, so I'm familiar with this somewhat. This new process, I should say. Because Rivendell, for those who don't know, is a open source radio automation tool. It is basically a way to run your own radio station. Why am I getting chat messages? Anyway, sorry about that. I gotta mute my phone. So Rivendell is an open source automation tool. It allows you to basically run music or programs, audio programs, that is, like whatever audio program you come up with. Basically allows you to run your own radio station, whether that's in the cloud, whether that's at home, whether that's for a real radio station, or whether that's just for your house. It allows you to basically make a playlist. Those playlists can be automated, so you could literally just say, make me a new playlist every day. It would automatically just play the playlist and append the next day's list over and over again, and you basically don't have to touch it, and you can have your own little radio station in your house or your pool or wherever you wanted to have a radio station. You can put this in the cloud. I did, in fact, set up a cloud instance. Sorry, my dog's moving. I did set up a cloud instance of this in, I think it was Linode. It kind of became expensive for the guy who was wanting it done, so we canceled the project. But basically, it was able to set up a virtual instance in the cloud. I'm going to show you how to set up a virtual instance on a VM tonight using Linux Mint. which is they're one of the preferred platforms now. It used to be based on CentOS, but obviously CentOS has its own issues now. So the Rivendell team, led by Fred, has kind of expanded and provided install scripts for various platforms. Ubuntu LTS is one of them. Of course, you know me and Ubuntu. I'm not about that, so I decided to try Linux Mint. It worked out really well. It's fairly straightforward. It's what an install basically should be. So I'm going to go back to the chat before we get started and see what you all have to say. Toro says, yeah, and hopefully no cable problems this time. I will tell you an interesting story, speaking of cable issues or whatever. The other day I woke up and there was no internet in the house. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. The power's on, but there's no internet. So I came downstairs and went over to my tech wall, which is that way. And the whole room was dark. And the GFCI that powers the tech wall had blown or tripped at some point in the night. And thanks to, what's it called? Ting, which is a little electrical monitoring app that I have thanks to my insurance company. It actually showed that the power went out at 4 o'clock in the morning. And then Ting actually showed that it came back on, which I find interesting, and then went off again. So I'm not quite sure how that happened. But basically, the GFCI had tripped for some reason, have no idea, and it took out the internet. So that my whole server wall was offline. So then, the next day, I think it was, I tried to connect to one of my servers remotely, and they weren't responding. They just wasn't working. And I'm like, well, I know for a fact the server is on because I heard it this morning when I turned it back on. So why is it not running? I thought maybe we took another power hit, or maybe the circuit blew again, but I actually had VPN access. So my router, my pfSense router is working, but I can't get to my servers. And I then kind of realized, okay, maybe it's off, so maybe I should set up Wake on LAN. And then when I came home and looked at it, turns out none of my VMs auto-started, even though they are set to auto-start. So I don't know if that's a weird power issue or whatever it was. I ended up going in, turning auto-start off on the VMs, turning them back on the VMs, and now in testing, they come back on automatically. So hopefully this won't be an issue again, but weird things happen when you just pull power randomly. So Joe asked, not a short stream, better check those two and get a few more. I don't have any more. Those are the last two in the house. So I think you or Tony have my address. Maybe you can get DoorDash to deliver something. I don't know. That should be kind of funny. Why Not Gus says, my first install of Rivendell was back in 2006. Wow, that 2-day process. Yes, and Ulsa and Jack are interesting things to deal with. Ulsa is the audio Linux something adapter system or Linux audio system. It's basically what's supposed to figure out what audio cards you have and allow Rivendell to talk to them. It works most of the time. I've had issues with it, but yeah. David Zinn, are you drunk, Jay? No, I'm not, but I am drinking tonight as opposed to usual. Welcome in, Eric. Off Air says, it's 11 a.m. here in Sydney. Happy to be here. Welcome in from Sydney. We are international now. I think we have Sydney. We have, I think, Germany occasionally from, I think Nils is in Germany. Last week we had somebody from New Zealand come in, so we are definitely international. And yeah, it's warming up there, but here it's starting to cool off a little bit. It's like 67 degrees outside. That's 67 degrees Fahrenheit outside. I don't think it, I mean, in theory, I don't think it does pulse audio. Anyway, we'll get there. Anyway, all right. So I think the first thing we should do is basically install Linux Mint. So if we go over to my PC, I'm running XCPNG. So I'm going to create a new VM. Going to choose Other Install Media. We're going to call this Rivendell. That's fine. No, wait. It's not fine. Boy, maybe I am a little bit more tipsy than I thought. Linux Mint. We're going to choose Linux Mint. Hit Next. This system has a crap ton of RAM on it. Don't ask why. So we're going to hit Next. I typically do 4. And then 4 gigs of RAM for now. Obviously, you can do more, but all my VMs have 4 gigs. So why not? Obviously, it doesn't need a GPM. Sorry, GPM. Wow. This might be an interesting stream. We're going to add a hard drive. I always give the hard drive the same name as the machine. I'm going to keep it relatively small, like 100 gigs. I don't really want to take up my whole system with this. If this was a production system, I would obviously have spinning hard drives in this, or I would point it towards a NAS. For this demonstration purposes and for my testing, I'm just going to do 100 gigs. You probably should do more based on whatever your needs are. I have 2 hard drive arrays in this server, SSD and hard drive based. The SSD actually has more space, oddly enough. So I'm going to hit add. So an SSD array, 100 gigabytes is plenty for a Rivendell system for testing purposes. So we're going to do next on the house network. That's fine. And start the VM automatically. Toro says, iSCSI for life. Yeah, you could do it that way if you wanted to. Why not Gus? It's 113 degrees Fahrenheit there. I believe he is in Arizona, I believe. Currently, at least. So, yeah, it's hot there. Australia gets a high RTM. I don't forget what return. I don't know what RTM stands for. Alrighty, so we go back to XCPNG. We open up the console. I'm going to undock it so it's easier to see. And then we're going to hit Start Linux. No, we're going to install Linux. No, wait, yeah. Probably need to click on it. We're going to start Linux. Drink. And I do have water over here too in case it becomes time to drink water. Oh, David says RTM is basically dollars per 1,000 views. Okay. All right, so it looks like I gotta turn the scale on in this VM, or we're not gonna see everything. In case you didn't know, I happen to prefer XCPNG for my virtualization platform. I've done VMware. We used to have servers running VMware at work. Nice system, whatnot, but I prefer XCPNG only for the, not only, mainly for the backup tool that's built in, because having a backup tool that's built in to the actual program just makes backups that much easier. And why is this taking forever? This did not take this long before. Come on. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Let me check into this to see if I could figure out what is going on. Of course, now I can't see it because it's on my second screen. All right, so that's interesting. We're off to a great start. Why does it? Why is it not responding? True that, Toro. True that. Technically, it wasn't a cable before either. The issue was the cable wasn't the issue. It was the actual encoder itself. All right. Well, I'm saying screw that. Send an all control delete message because something is sideways. All right. So why does it? Of course, it has to break on the on the live demo because what else would happen? So this might be a little fun time to peruse what exactly is on my XCP-NG system. Well, I'm playing with the Crater Invoice system. I'm playing with the link shortener. Oops, should go back to that. Playing with Monarca. If you remember before, I was really playing with MinIO. I may get back to that actually as my kind of backup destination for TrueNAS. I have a brand new Nextcloud server. I have my old Nextcloud server. Nginx is a web server, but I use it for RTMP to HLS conversion mostly. I have a Plex server that I don't really use all that often. Radio is the old Rivendell server that I built a while back on I think it was on a stream. Maybe not. RTMP-IE is that RTMP server as a Docker image that we were going to work on, or I was going to work on eventually. Haven't really got around to it. TCGUI is a network throttling software solution that I was playing with, inspired by Aaron Parecki. Unify is obviously Unify, and XOA is the Zen Orchestra controller for XCP-NG. And this thing is really not happy. I don't understand what is going on. It's Monday Night Live with a hard lemonade. Yep. Live demos are us. All right, so we're just going to go to the install this time. I think maybe that's what I did before. I just want to install it. That's all I want to do. Or did I not set up the BIOS/UEFI correctly? Maybe that's what I did wrong. Currently there are 9 viewers here, 6 likes, so please don't forget to give the stream a like if you can, please. The channel has kind of actually grown a little stagnant. Not like me being stagnant. I've been publishing content, but basically haven't got a new subscriber in several days, which I find kind of weird. I was getting multiple subscribers a day, and then all of a sudden it was like, nope, not gonna happen. This is crashing again. Well, of course it does, because it's freaking live stream. Oh God. All right. What did I do wrong? Eric says, it's not me, it's the algorithm. Well, I'll buy that. Forced shutdown. Oh, speaking, I don't know why. I did see something in here earlier I wanted to address. Somebody had didn't someone say, oh, so David, yes, actually I did see the other day someone did say that they have a GitHub project. Um, you may actually This may actually be fun for you. Where's it at? I have no idea if this works or not. I'm going to post it in the chat. Apparently, that's a Docker version of Rivendell. I don't know what it does. If you want to install it, see if you can beat me, by all means, go ahead. That'd be actually kind of interesting to see if you can get it up and running before I can get this thing to work. Again, I have no idea if that actually does work or not. So, all right. So back to this. We're going to delete this. And this is just, of course, how the day's been going. So we're going to do a new VM. This time we're going to use the wizard. Let's just do a Ubuntu wizard. Maybe I forgot to do something stupid. Rivendell, we're going to boot from Linux Mint. Next, place that on there. 4 and 4. 496, 4D, 96. Increase the size of the hard drive. House network's fine. Start automatically. It's a race to the finish. 2 will enter and 1 will Rivendell. That's funny. Extra cores? Not so much. Extra RAM? I might have some of that lying around. Or available to use. Rivendell. Alright, let's see if this works this time. Install. I swear, if this doesn't work, I'm going to lose my shit. Come on. All right, so why not Gus says in a virtual environment, what is basic specs? I don't think you need a lot, honestly. I think, that's probably a good question. I honestly don't know. I think I gave my VMs way too much. I run the virtual server at the university, and it probably has too much resources. That's probably a question we should come back to. And this is not what a version I wanted. I don't want to do this. The hardest part of this might actually getting Linux Mint to be installed. Because this was not the issue their day. I had no problems with this installing. And now it's like, you're on YouTube. I'm going to make fun of you and make you look like a fool. Yeah, I think 2 cores, 2 gigs seems like a good. If it's just playing out video, or playing out video. If it's just playing out audio, that's probably fine. To at least to start with. I think the issue we ran into when I did the virtualization was that storage kind of became an issue because we wanted to store tons of music and it stores them in WAV, which isn't huge, but if you only got 25 gigs for free, you got to go up to the next tier, and then you got streaming to count for, because it's always going to be broadcasting audio out. So if you're limited on bandwidth, you have to think about that, and okay, what are my bandwidth requirements, for this virtual machine? Well, the music could be stored on a different machine. The database, you may want to live with the music. It depends on how you want to do it. At the university, we have one central server that has the database and the music, and then we have two clients that point to it, one for on air and one for production. And then that's been working for years without any issue. So that's the way I kind of prefer it. Hey, look, it actually popped up. So now we're going to install Linux Mint. And I'm looking up right now, there is a script on how to do this, if you guys want to follow along. I will share the script in the comments below. So this is the guide we're going to be following along with tonight. And I'm just going to do the defaults because that's where I'm at. It's not exactly the same guide as you get because this assumes you're installing for Ubuntu, but obviously it works the same way. And you should just accept the defaults until you get to, and I completely forgot to hit record on my freaking record. I was actually recording a clean feed version of this in order to make it a shorter video. I guess we'll have to just come back to that and do a separate video. So we're going to install Erase Disk and install Linux Mint. Yes, I want to use the defaults. The old script used to have you customize partitions and whatnot, and I never really liked that idea, but I did it anyway. I like to just let it say take care of it. For here, it suggests that you type in Rivendell Audio as your name and RD as your username. I do a pretty simple password. I'm going to choose automatically log in. The machine doesn't matter, but we're going to give it a name of, I mean, it should matter for you. I'm just saying if it doesn't matter for me. But I'm going to give it RD and then like what this machine's called. So this will be my YouTube demo machine. If you were doing this in your environment, you may want to do call letters, or you may want to do the group or the location. So let's say you were in San Francisco, you may want to do SF dash, the call letters or whatever it is to kind of differentiate each machine, especially if you're doing more than one machine. You're going to kind of want to figure out where these machines are located or what they're servicing. As far as I'm concerned, Rivendell should only be used one install per stream. So this install should only provide playout for one channel. It is. I don't even think you can do it. I mean, you probably could do it. I would not recommend it. Trying to run more than one playlist off of this machine, I would create a whole new VM for each individual playout or playlist. Ooh, I think this is kicking my butt faster than I realized. Anyway, all right, so here we go. We're installing. Isn't this fun? It's like watching paint dry. Should go back to the channel, the chat while I'm sitting here. Eric says, now it's rolling, rolling, rolling. I'm sorry, Eric. All I hear when I see rolling, rolling, rolling is the Limp Bizkit song. But that's like the first couple words they say in the song. I'm, you know, maybe dating myself on that one, but why not? Gus says he is the owner of Airwaves Media Group, which is a awesome name, by the way. David just checked. And Norway has the highest RPM. At one point, I was learning German. I was in junior high, and we had to choose a language, so I chose German because we had a foreign exchange student from Germany, and so it made a logical sense to do something I already was familiar with. In hindsight, I probably should have chose Spanish, but German sounded good. Eric says, did you start the JAU timer? I did. I started it late, but it is actually running. It was about 4 or 5 minutes late, if I remember. But thank you for asking, Eric. No, Toro, the password is not 12345. Jeremy's in the house. Welcome in, Jeremy. Hopefully the adjusters were out at your house today and decided to give you a big check. If you didn't know, Jeremy got hit by some storms and had to cancel his live stream the other day that I was going to join, along with, I think Joe was going to join then as well. I was going to say, while we were waiting for that, I was going to say, Jeremy, that I thought that little garage shed with a remodel, some nice AC, could be a cool YouTube space. You could you could build a permanent studio in the back. Just a small suggestion. Yeah, Limp Bizkit. That was all the rage in the late 90s, early 2000s, or whatever the hell it was. The Blues Brothers. Okay. Gus says, when I was looking at naming, I was like, it's all been done. Results, optimum, you name it. I wanted something unique. Yeah. All right. So David says the JAE is the true metrics. This stream will be 1 hour and 4 minutes at least. No, Jeremy did not get hit by a bus. Thank God. All right, let's go back to see if this is installed. Still copying files. This seems awfully slow. I don't know. I'm curious now. Is my TrueNAS box okay? I didn't check it after the storm. Oh, and so my TrueNAS box is not responding. It's obviously up because otherwise I wouldn't be able to get the ISOs off of it. The ISOs for XCP-NG are stored on the TrueNAS box. That being said, my TrueNAS box is not responding to the webpage. Oh boy. It is on the network. It is responding. Obviously, that's where the ISO is coming from. That explains why it's slow, though. What is wrong with my TrueNAS box? "13 concurrent viewers, 9 likes." I will have to say, the stats on my stream after we do these, this live is pretty good. I'm always impressed with the likes and the comments and the engagement I get after the fact. So if you watch this after the fact, I appreciate it every time you do. So thank you for that. Oh boy, this is taking forever. Like I said, not gonna be a short stream, I don't think. Yes, Gus, I would not play multiple stations out of one box or VM. I mean VM. If you had a powerful enough server, you could run 5 VMs off of that box, but I would not run multiple playlists on one virtual machine. I don't think you can, and I wouldn't recommend it if you could. You know, David, that's what I was worried about. Yeah, I mean, I would not. The aux logs I played with briefly. I would not try that. I would. The software's free. The OS is free. I would just configure different VMs for each log you want to run. Um, yeah. Yeah, it might be time for a check disk. Oh yeah, in-ear monitors are not cheap. That is that is absolutely true. Well, I mean, the power came back on Thursday morning at 4 a.m., so I'm guessing that process is over with. Hey, look, it's done. Restart. Eject. Press enter. All right, so, um, yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure the thing's been over with for a while. So David's having vodka apparently. To you, David. There we go. So we're talking about TV shows. I am the biggest fan of Sports Night, which was canceled after 2 seasons, and The Newsroom, which was canceled after 3 seasons. Not really canceled. They only really meant to have 3 seasons, I guess, from what I read. Either way, Sports Night, the best show on television you've never heard of, was a quote by some TV critic, and I firmly believe it was the best show on television you probably never heard of. It aired on ABC. Go look it up. Sports Night. It's old school at this point. It's 4x3. It has references most of you will probably get, knowing my audience. Sports Night. Go look it up. If you haven't seen The Newsroom, it was HBO. It was Aaron Sorkin as well. He did both Sports Night and The Newsroom. Both were amazing shows. Both were cool. Both had a lot of technical flaws from a TV standpoint. Sports Night more so. The Newsroom actually had a working control room where the anchors could talk. So the actors could talk to each other with the IFB like a real control room would be. The difference is the audio board would not be a Mackie 24-channel board. It would not be in the same room as the main control room. But hey, that's nitpicking. But speaking of TV series, go watch Sports Night. Go watch The Newsroom. You won't regret it. Uh, yeah, log creation is a little weird. It is actually very doable these days. It is. We won't get it to this one. We won't get into it on this stream, but We can talk offline about it. It does works out fairly well. David Grishko, never had a drink in my life, never will. Probably a wise decision. Newsroom was really good. Oh, come on, Joe. I mean, seriously, you thought this really? You know, never mind. You know what? You're just doing this to my goat, and it's working. I should let this go. Although I'm tempted to do a 4x3 stream next week just for you. That'd be actually awfully hard to do, but I'm tempted to do it just because. Matt Moore is in the house. Welcome. So yeah, I'm guessing maybe if it just go ahead and watch Sports Night, that'd be great. Yeah. Where's that quote? There's a quote from Sports Night. Basically, the manager basically says, if you're dumb, surround yourself with smart people. And if you're smart, surround yourself with people who disagree with you, which I've always tried to live up to. Like, surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, or if you are smart, find people who disagree with you and can have a very valid argument about things, because it makes you better, it makes them better. I'm listening to a book for work called Radical Candor. A lot of the similarities in that, like, hey, you know, engage people, be honest with each other. It doesn't help people to be, you know, hiding around the bushes or whatever they want to call it. Because yes, and by the way, I am feeling this, just in case you couldn't tell. So yes, go watch Sports Night. I don't know where I was going with that. It has a lot of great quotes, a lot of great actors or actresses. Oh, so you had the multiple logs, yeah? Because I just don't think it's. I don't think that's how it's intended to be run. I really think it's better to make one VM, one playlist, ignore the aux logs. I know they can do things. I just don't see how well they incorporate into the overall system. Does not surprise me that you'd have the ASI card. Now, you can get Livewire. You can buy the license from Fred at Paravol. You can Livewire every VM you want, or you can do streaming from each machine. There's no reason not to do single VMs for each playout channel. Yeah. Eric says one vote for 4x3, 640 by 480. Yes, yes, yes. I think I would have to put the black bars in the side and do 4x3. I mean, or I could just. Does the camera even do 4x3? I don't know if the camera even does 4x3 anymore. Bob's back. Did you go for a walk, Bob? Joe says I should do a stream inside the TV logo. So I should do a stream from inside that? That'd be kind of cool. Interesting. I may have to, yeah. 480i, nothing less. I like the quote, if you're the smartest person in the room, leave. What if you are dumb but think you are smart? Well, then you got a lot of issues. Fred said they were for sat logs. Oh, for satellite records or satellite fed stations, or oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't think anyone on this channel knows what that's like to be the dumbest person in the room but think they're smart. I think everybody in this chat or in this live stream is already smart. And I know some of you disagree with me on things, so that's cool. We have good engagement. We can actually, have a conversation about why one point of view may be better versus the other. But, I like to solve problems you didn't know you had and can't understand. So I guess I'm the smartest guy in the room. And currently, I'm the least person in this house, so therefore, I'm the smartest person in this house for sure. So, uh, well, there are exceptions, I'm sure. Oh God, no letterbox. I'm not doing letterbox. I saw you post a review. I have not watched the review. I am like way behind on YouTube. Like I just finished. No, I haven't finished. Jeremy's stream from Sunday. I haven't finished Jeremy's stream yet, um, and I don't see him. But Not Terrible went live, and I haven't watched his stream yet, so I'm very behind on YouTube. I think you could leave off the first part and just say management is not like those that disagree. Typically, and I'm in management these days, so I could speak. I mean, I like people who disagree, but I could say for overall, I think in general, management does not like those who disagree. Anyway, let's go back to the actual point of this stream, which is to install Rivendell. So we're back to Linux Mint, and I need to pull the chat down so you can see it. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh. Oh, that's funny. I'm going to share that. Alrighty, so, alright, so we're back to this. Let's go. Turn that off. Let's go. First, we don't need any of this stuff, so we can just close this. So, my first thought with Linux Mint is kind of interesting. It seems very nice. It has a lot of stuff built in, as far as I can tell. It is trying to copy, obviously, Windows, but I do like how the buttons are like right here for lock, log out, and power. And some of the default shortcuts are right here, which is very nice, very handy, especially for beginners. It's nice that this just pops up and works. To me, it's a much nicer looking interface than Ubuntu has, because everything's better than Ubuntu these days. But that's just my opinion. I did recall, if I remember correctly, Jeremy saying that he was kind of coming to the same conclusion about Ubuntu that I am. He didn't want to do it anymore. So I do recommend using Update Manager and installing updates if you're going to go this route. Linux is not like Windows. It doesn't just do updates, although you can tell it to. But my suggestion, and please take this to heart, if you have a virtualization server of any kind, it can do snapshots. Snapshots are your friend. Take them. Use them. They are your friend. But then remember to delete them, because if you keep creating snapshots and you never delete them, you eventually run out of hard drive space, and then you have different issues. But remember to use snapshots before a change. Make a snapshot. It doesn't take you but 4 seconds to hit make a snapshot and give it a damn name. Make a snapshot. Rant over. Sorry. Back to... Ooh, I should go ghetto. That'd be cool. I should get black cardboard and on both sides. We should do ghetto. Keith Bennett is in the house. That's like 3 weeks in a row, Keith. Welcome in. Yep, I'm tempting the live streaming gods again. I mean, what else would this stream do? I mean, it's no fun if you're not breaking crap and then fixing it. So, quick story. This is actually Rivendell related. So, side note. We had Rivendell installed at the radio station for several years. I forget exactly how long. We had just upgraded to the first version to run Livewire in our small production studio. So the on-air studio was still analog with audio science cards. The new production studio was all Livewire. We had just bought the Livewire up. We just bought the Livewire license from Paravol, and I go down there on a weekend, and I'm like, let's update the system because it's been out of date for quite some time. I had done the updates here at my house. There was no issues, so I said, what could possibly go wrong? You all understand what happened next. I hit app update. It applied the updates. It rebooted, and next thing you know, I have no audio output. Everything looked correct. There was no audio output whatsoever. It's a Saturday. I'm pretty sure it's a Saturday. What the hell do you do on a Saturday when the breaks crap? So, of course, I didn't have snapshots because this is a physical server, not a virtualized server. Wow. Oh, boy, this is really hitting me. Anyway, physical server, not virtualized, no snapshots. Should have took a backup beforehand. Didn't do it. So I was like, I am hosed. We are off the air. We can't make any audio. We're a radio station. That's kind of a problem. So I posted in the Rivendell Facebook group, I need help. And a really cool guy who's part of like Fred's team contacted me and said, hey, you know, we don't usually do this, but we'll help you out. We called. So I got a hold of Fred, or Fred called me. I can't remember exactly. And it turned out that CentOS had just changed the way the sound driver worked in the kernel, and they were working on a fix, but because it was the weekend, they hadn't rolled it out yet, and so we got burned, or I got burned. Luckily, Fred is awesome, and because we had just bought the Livewire driver, Fred gave us support. Thank God we actually had bought the driver and paid for it. I always recommend if you're going to do Rivendell, you buy a support plan because you're going to use it at some point because it's Linux and you're going to need help. So, again, rant over, buy the support, help support Rivendell and the project for sure. Snapshot saves lives but plugs drives. That's true. Yep, snapshots have saved me more than once. Yep. 9 minutes from a JAU. Okay. I'm a net injurer. We do it live and then freak out. Yep. Sure, Keith, you get all the bonus points in the world. You can cash them in at some point in the future. No, I'm not. I'm still in the first one. If that, yeah. Here we go. There we go, Joe. Cheers. Yep, I hit app update and it blew up like crap. Of course, you know where that leads. Everybody in this chat knows where that goes. For every bottle drank, you get 0.25. Okay, so where we stand now then? So that's like a full JEU then right now because we're just under. Yeah, that's cool. If it needs updating, do it. If it breaks, it needed fixed anyways. That's pretty good. I'm going to have to. I want that into a t-shirt. I want that into a t-shirt. No, don't update Notepad++ right now. I just wanted to make a note. Things to do. Things to make. Things to get printed. Things to get printed. T-shirt idea. If it needs updating, do it. If it breaks, it needed to fix it anyway. Yes, it did. I have a OneNote of all my things, like things to buy, things to watch, things to do, whatever, and now I have a things to get printed because I need a shirt that says that. Yes, I started the JU counter 6 minutes late because I didn't even start streaming until I didn't push the button to encode before 9 o'clock. I was running late today. It's very sensical. I mean, Bob, you're generally a pretty sensical person, so I would say most things you say make sense. Most things. Yeah, I didn't think I'd like OneNote, but I actually really love it. It is a very, very cool tool. I have OneNote uh, databases, notebooks. I have notebooks for personal, the university, the station, and the fact that I can get them on my phone and they're all just, they work in the cloud. Perfect use for the cloud. That's, that's kind of like the shit I like. Anyway, back to the Rivendell stream, or the Rivendell, because that's what people are here to see, not me jabber on about crap. Maybe you are, I don't know. Anyway, so the first thing we got to do, now that we have a working install, is get Eric's chat off the screen. And then we got to do a terminal session, and we got to do apt install, sudo apt install. Oh wait, we're not root. Wait, do you have to be? Oh my god, I can't remember. Open SSH server? No. Wow, my brain is totally not working right now. There we go. So we're going to install SSH server because we want to SSH into this box because I don't feel like typing out get GPG keys or whatever. So now that SSH actually works on the machine, we got to get its IP address, which is .96. So going to come over here to MOBA Xterm, which is the coolest terminal program ever. And now we're going to log in as Rivendell with our password, and we are in. So now using the guide, we're going to do a wget. We are going to schmod it, I guess is how I always pronounce it. Then we're going to do a sudo install. Again, these commands are straight from the guide I posted earlier. So there's nothing unique here. So here we go with the options. You have three essentially options. You can do a standalone machine, which is what we're going to do today. You can do a server model, which is basically a standalone machine, but it's designed to be shared with other computers. And then you can do the client, which only points to the server. So if you had a cluster of stations like Airwaves Media, you might install a server version, and then all your other stations would be clients to that server. Or if you're a home user who wants to create a playlist for their pool, you could just go a standalone version. I'm going to go with one for this option. And then I'm going to sit back and relax and do nothing because this is going to just do its own thing. It couldn't be any easier. So back to chat while we wait. And boy, am I missing some stuff. Okay. I have no plans on moving to New York at any point in my life. Bob's done some pretty bonehead things in in his life, don't we? Haven't we all? The cloud has its purpose. I'm not going to say it doesn't. David loves OneNote as well. Yeah, it makes keeping notes stupid easy. The jabber is the best. Keep drinking. Where's my DoorDash delivery, Joe? I'll take a pizza when you're ready. While you're at it. 90-day valid certificates for what? SSL? Or sorry, TLS, I guess they call it. For the mainframers out there, okay, quick poll. How many people have actually used a mainframe? Create a poll. Have you used the mainframe? Question mark. Ask your community. Please vote in the pool. Poll. Oh my God. You guys are just typing a lot. I have to go back each time. Oh, Let's Encrypt's going to 90-day certs? Okay. I guess that's not a problem. Gus says he used Putty. If you use more than one server, I'd recommend looking up MOBA Xterm. It's like $75 a year, but it is absolutely incredible. You can make groups like this and just have them ready to go. You can have folders. I mean, it is just... I love MOBA Xterm. What did I do? I just clicked out of the wrong thing. Anyway. So, there. Rivendell is in theory done. So, installing that is. So, we're going to do sudo reboot. Go back to the interface, which should reboot here shortly. There it goes. Schmod it. Yep. I forget the fatal button. Bob says, in his defense, the button was blue like all the other innocent buttons in the console. The red one said stop. That was pretty obvious. The green button, yeah, that was sensical. The blue button, yeah. The degree of sh is directly proportional to the amount of Mike's hard lemonade consume. Yeah, not enough, apparently. Bad design in something computer related? Never. The server is technically a playout client as well. They just don't recommend that you use the server as a playout machine, from what I understand. You can do it. You could make one machine be a server and have it play out, but it's not recommended because most entries point back to that, and that machine will be doing most of the work. So, I mean, in terms of like serving up files and databases. So I would not recommend that your server be a playout machine. Bob says he got razzed for months. Yeah, I could imagine that. I learned in my first week on the job that it does not work out well for anybody who shorts the 5-volt bus to ground. Yeah. At least it's not the 12-volt. Practical IT says, I worked at a Fortune 500 insurance company that was running a Z-Series frame. Never heard of Z-Series. Had a poll for those who crashed. Google's forcing 90-day certs via Chrome. Well, one less reason to use Chrome. I actually do remember. I'm pretty sure my station had an AS 400 when I first started working there 19 years ago. It ran our traffic system. And for those of you who don't know, traffic does not mean as car traffic, like as in the roads. Traffic means like the schedule of what spots and what commercials are playing when. At least traffic in television and radio. That's what that means. We also have traffic, like as in the highway's blocked and you don't want to go on the road, but there's two kinds of traffic. All right, let's check out our poll. So far, a third of you have done mainframes with 11 votes. So it's pretty good. I'm going to take a wild guess and say all of you who worked with mainframe have also crashed the mainframe based on the conversation. I don't remember the AS400s being that big. I mean, remember them being big, but I don't remember them being like that big. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, so we go back to Rivendell, and now you see there are two shortcuts on the desktop. This lets you know that the install finished because these are your operation guides and what you should do first. If you go up to now the start menu, which is probably not called the start menu, but if it was, here we go. So now you can see there's a whole Rivendell folder. Underneath here you have all the Rivendell tools, and it seems to me there's more in here than there used to be, but whatever. RD admin is the tool for administering all the stuff that goes in the work background. You can manage users, services, feeds, all the stuff like the host, scheduler codes, all the wonderful stuff. Basically, here you have your services. So like you would have a service called, in this example, we'd have a YouTube channel. We'd have, and you would define it here. Hold on a second, I gotta take this phone call. I gotta go, guys. I'll be right back. Hold on. Make sure I don't. Yeah, Joe, you are freaking hilarious. I cannot believe it's even cold. That that's funny. That is seriously funny. Whew. Oh, Joe, that's funny. Um, wow. So I missed a lot. Um, cheers to you, Joe. So obviously we just got delivery. Haley was actually upstairs. The guy showed up and was like, "Here's the delivery." We're like, "No, we don't need a delivery." Then it was like, "It's a gift," and it was like, "Okay, well then you need to show your ID because obviously it's alcohol." So I had to go get my ID to show. All right. Where was I at? Oh yeah. So here's Haley saying, "Joe sent you something." Did a delivery show up? Yep, a delivery made it up. Yeah, we had an. I'm pretty sure it was an AS400, and it was like. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. It was like I don't know, 3 or 4 feet tall, pretty deep, but it wasn't like two people probably could have carried it. Maybe I'm wrong. Uh, I still can't believe Joe sent that to me. That's hilarious. But when I became information, I have to claim how many two-factor authentication. Yeah, I don't know if I drank all those. I don't think I'd find a stop button either. I think I would just fall over and crash. You better drink those. Oh boy, that's gonna be that's gonna be a challenge. Yeah, you don't know how much that cost. That cost me. Yeah, he did. Didn't? Yeah, it does say Speedway on it. He was a nice dude. He was laughing about it. I had We've talked about before. My reception sucks so bad out here. I had to have him join my Wi-Fi network so he could put the ID into the computer for the thing. Which reminds me, I should probably change my password now because dude has my password. Dude has my Wi-Fi network. Um, in his phone. Whew. Um, all right. So we're back to. Oops. Jeez. You told me we're on live on YouTube. Yeah, he was wondering what was going on. Dude was 1/6 or 1/8 Hawaiian. I think he said it was because our dog is Puka, and he was like, "Oh, Puka." Um, whew. Anyway, oh yeah. So that's funny. I think he had a Prius or electric car because it didn't sound like a gas car. Although I'm not quite sure why you do Uber with electric vehicle. That seems not smart. What do I know? Anyway, so we're gonna go back to this. No, we're not gonna do freaking update manager right now. Anyway, so here's the services, and I'm having a hard time reading that. Um, Anyway, so we're going to close this for now, and then we're going to go here. And so under Rivendell, that was the admin tool. Here's RD AirPlay, or sorry, RD AirPlay. This is the main interface for Rivendell, and this is where your log would be. Oh yeah, and here's the problem we're going to have with this, because this resolution is too small. They just made it with version 4.0 that it supports widescreen displays now, and it actually requires you to have a widescreen display because, as you can see, it won't fit on the damn screen. So we'll have to fix that. So we're going to exit that. And then there's Rivendell. You got ALSA configs. If you had a sound card, it would show up underneath here. It would show your sound cards here. You would choose the one that you want to use. You also have cart slots. So if you want to like play, put carts and just play carts, you can play that. This doesn't work because there's no sound card currently. It will not play audio if you have no sound card. A couple other things down here, kind of irrelevant tonight, but the one thing I think is pretty cool for some people is RD panel. This probably has the same issue as the other one. Is that it does fit. Well, kind of fits. So RD panel is just a series of buttons. Basically, you could assign these to different sound effects or music beds. I mean, as you push them, they would play. Again, there's no sound card, so I can't do that currently. Yes, the new version has built-in meters. I knew it was a hybrid. I will drink one, Joe. Don't worry. I'm almost at the bottom of this one. Yeah, you can't do links unless you're an admin or you're a moderator. Yes, this is in 4x3. What I need to figure out is how to make this higher resolution. We're 10 minutes to 1. David goes to bed. That's hilarious. I do not think my skills get better with alcohol. I'm just saying that. So before we can really proceed, I need to figure out how to make this resolution better. Change display settings. Apply. I don't think it's still high enough. Maybe it is. What did I just do? Keep new configuration. Oh, we got to install. You know, we didn't install is the guest tools. So I'm going to install the guest tools. Open. Oh, yeah, you can't, it doesn't, since Linux Mint isn't built into the one of the things it supports, you got to do sudo apt get apt install xe guest utilities, which is the equivalent version in the apt store. Yeah, there are no more appliance CDs. So now it has guest tools installed. You probably got to reboot, I'm guessing. Before, I don't think you have to, but let's just reboot to see what happens. Yeah, there are no more appliance CDs. boy, I'm starting to feel this one for sure. Oh, you know who I just realized isn't here? It's Tony. Where's Tony? All right. So, let's see if this worked. Still not big enough. Because there's a whole part down here that you would see. All right. Brain trust. I need to figure out how to make a larger display. Anybody know how to do that? Because I want to specify a larger display, but I can't do that, at least to the GUI. And I need to make that happen for the next part to work. So, what we can do in the meantime is we can reconnect to terminal. And we're going to set up a couple basic things real quick. So, let me refer to my notes, because I definitely can't recall this by... yeah. So, I'm going to do... These are my old notes, so please bear with me, because they're actually designed for yum, which is %. So we're going to do sudo apt install. So we're going to install Nano, because I like Nano better. Icecast, which is a streaming server. Glasscoder, which is going to actually encode the audio. And then Glasscoder GUI is just an interface for it, which I find to be helpful. So we're going to install these tools. Oh. Can't find Icecast, huh? Icecast 2 works for me. Well, this is different. Well, that's different. Interesting. Let me update my notes, because I did not have that. So now that we have all that stuff in there, we have to modify the Icecast stuff. So we're going to do sudo nano Icecast. Or not. Oh, Icecast 2. Icecast XML. So that needs to be updated as well. And I plan on releasing these notes after the stream. More likely tomorrow, but after the stream nonetheless. And then the one thing you got to come in here and do, which always burns me before, is to change Earth to be USA. Not sure why that's a big deal, but apparently it is. So we're going to save that. And then I think we have to make a directory if it doesn't already exist. So home. Yeah, so we got to do a sudo make directory home Icecast, if I remember correctly. We'll just do Icecast 2 or Icecast. Then we got a chown Icecast, Icecast, home Icecast. There is no user. So is it 2? There is no group. Yeah, whatever. I'm not sure that's even required anymore. Probably not, because this is not CentOS, and so probably breaks everything I wrote down. Um, Good night, David. Alrighty. So, do I even need to do that anymore? Probably don't think I need to do that anymore. This might have been a lot easier than I remember it being. So we're gonna make a system file so we can start IceCast automatically. And then I will copy and paste this. Paste. This probably doesn't even work anymore for all I know. So if we do a sudo systemctl status icecast, failed to launch. Why does it? Oh, because there's no user. Sudo show ID. No, I don't even remember what the hell the command is. All right, what's one? Let's see here. We got pink freeze or hard blue freeze. We'll do hard blue. Thanks, Joe. Oh, that's good. Really cold. A lot colder than other ones. Oh, Jason's Lab has joined us. Welcome in, Jason's Lab. Have a drink. This is drink 3. So what I'm still looking for is I need to figure out how to hard code a higher resolution into this into this screen so I can actually get Rivendell to display properly. Because I can't go above this resolution and I totally need to. So I don't know how you define that in Linux Mint. If you know, please let me know down below. Yeah, the blue's really good. I'm liking the blue, that's for sure. I actually made the trash can. That's a concept. All right, so is IceCast even running? I don't think it probably is. If I had to take a guess, it's probably not. So it was 10.1.1.96. No. 96. IceCast default port is what? Port 8000. So let's check out port 8000. IceCast is already running because it's Linux or it's Linux Mint and it already works, so we can skip that whole step. Awesome. Hallelujah. So here to prove IceCast is working, here is IceCast. I believe it's admin hack me. So perfect, works, awesome. So that saves us a whole bunch of time because we don't need to do that over again. So then we need to do, we need to make Jack D audio start. So again, I'm going to refer to my notes. I'm going to do a sudo nano. This probably does, I don't know if this will work or not, but we're going to do it anyway. And again, I'm just copy and pasting some notes that I've had before. Probably should take chat off the air. Nope. Go away. So I'm going to copy and paste all this. Save it. And then I'm going to do another file called streamd, which again I will post in the notes. So I'm basically making two startup scripts. And this is 96. And you'll see this in a second, what these do. And then we're going to make one more configuration file. Now you can do this all via the GUI. You don't need to do this in command line, but I just want it to work when I launch the program. I don't have to figure out anything after the fact. So like I don't want to rely on command line. I want to just have it work. Sorry, I don't rely on a GUI. I want to just have it, work via command line. So in theory, that worked. So let's go back to Rivendell, the GUI interface now, because you can't do this. I guess you could do it command line, but we're going to go to admin. Admin is the login. We're going to manage the host. We're going to click on our YouTube demo. We're going to go down to Jack settings. And for the command line argument, we're going to start Jack. We're going to do user, local, so we're going to start the Jack server, then we're going to run that command, which basically says to run it with our parameters. Then we're going to add a Jack client. So since I want this to go first, I want to put a 1 in there, and I'm going to have it go to user, local, bin, stream, d, start. And then we're going to add a second one, which is basically I call to Jack Connect, because it runs these in orders. So you want to make sure. So that's to Jack Connect. User, local, bin, Jack D Connect. Okay. Okay. Quit. So now that's in theory set up to start Jack D, which is the audio connector from Rivendell to Glasscoder, and then we're going to run that over to IceCast. So, and boy, am I freaking feeling this one. Oh, so Jason's lab says run this command. Xrandar does not work in Linux Mint. Joining. Doug's joining. Thanks for joining. You've missed quite a bit. I'm on drink number 3, and we haven't got Rivendell to work yet. But we're having fun. So Linux Mint, again, this is the issue. So now, if I go in here, and I'm going to have to reboot this again, I think, to get these scripts to work. Hopefully they work. Oh, Jason's Lab says if he runs that Xrandar without any parameters, it'll give you a list. Okay. We'll see about that. Do I have to install it in the Linux Mint? I'm curious. All right, so let's just try. Oh, we got to reconnect. Come on. RD password sudo apt install Xrandar R. All right, so that does work. So that's... How do you change the resolution then? Mode 1920 by 1080. Output 1? Is it output 0? Output 0 mode 1920 by 1080. Is it output default? Cannot find mode. Really? Oh, come on. Don't let this be the freaking thing that stops this whole damn stream. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure what's holding it back. So I installed IceCast, I installed Jack, and then we connect. Jack is the connector that takes the audio out of RD AirPlay and runs it to Glasscoder. Glasscoder is pushing it to IceCast. So RD AirPlay, Jack, IceCast, sorry, RD AirPlay, Jack, Glasscoder, Icecast. That's the workflow we're trying to get to happen automatically upon reboot. All right, so why does so I figured out, we kind of figured out I got the right thing, it just can't find mode. But if you look at the damn output from earlier, where you didn't run any parameters, it says maximum 32,000 by 32,000. Or do I have to do, maybe I gotta do more. Maybe I gotta do output +0 +0, because that's what the example, oh my god, I can't talk. Icecast is the streaming server, Glasscoder is the encoder. So Glasscoder is encoding the audio, and then Icecast is what you use to listen or distribute the audio. If you were going to use something else to do the streaming, like let's say you wanted to use Shoutcast or AzureCast, you would point Glasscoder at it, because you don't need Icecast. I want Icecast in this scenario so I can actually hear it locally, since I have no way to listen to the audio locally without Icecast, if that makes sense. The bridge is Jack. Jack is what's bridging it all together. And there are GUI interfaces, but I've never actually seen them work before. If you come into here and do Glasscoder GUI, Glassgate GUI. Oh my god, I can't talk. Here you can actually see, like, this is the encoder. And so this is where you would point your encoder at, and then you could specify your codecs and your streaming settings and whatnot. I'm just setting this all via command line because I don't want to run the GUI. But the GUI is helpful for testing purposes. Like, you could come here and split this up and, but like I said, I want to set it all command line so it just works every time. There's no need to come in here and futz with stuff. But of course, that's not actually working because I don't think any of my Rivendell stuff is working like I wanted it to. Because in theory, this should start it, but in theory that works, but it worked on the old setup. I probably have to tweak that for the current setup, but I still want to get so if we go here, localhost, so if under server, if this was working, you would actually see feeds coming in, but unfortunately there's no feeds because I'm pretty sure Rivendell's broke, or what I did earlier does not actually work because there's nothing starting. Oh wait, do I have to go in here and make these executable? I might have screwed that up. This might be my problem. I mean, I have lots of problems, but this is this is what I'm referring to tonight. Um, Schmod, sudo schmod. We're gonna add x to jack d asterisk. Well, I really can't type, can I? And I'm also getting a massive headache. So now they're all executables. I wonder if that makes them work now. And I will definitely make a nicer, more concise video when we get this figured out. Yeah, the more you drink does not make the installs go better. Yeah, it'd be fun to get a Mike's Hard Lemonade sponsorship. I think I'm losing viewers because the chat's gone awfully quiet. Still says 10 concurrent viewers. That's pretty cool. Thank you all for being here. At this point, you're probably going, will they actually freaking finish this? So let's see if this actually works now. Localhost 8000. Server status. Nope. So if I start Rivendell, even though it doesn't display it properly, so if I, oh, see, I can't scroll down. Like, if I had a better interface, I can't do this. Damn it. I don't think my scripts are going to work. I don't think this likes it for some reason. Do I need to give permission to those people? Oh, probably. That might be my issue. Oh, crap. That's the wrong login. CD, user, local. Ah, frickin'. Drinking was a bad idea. So we're gonna sudo shown or chmod 777. I would not do this on a production server. I'm just trying to get this to work tonight. So basically, I just said those scripts anybody can run. So if we relaunch Rivendell, does it actually connect? That's what I want to know. Because I don't think it's going to connect. Ooh, never mind. Maybe not. Nope. Nope. Because in theory, it'd be shown right here and say sources, and you'd have a mount point. But alrighty. How do I make the resolution bigger on a virtual machine? That's what I need to know. I need to figure out how to make this resolution bigger before I can actually make sure this works. Did I type any of these wrong? User bin jack D. CD user. I bet you that's probably the wrong place. Yeah, there's no jack D there. That's part of the issue. Watch jack D. Where? Jack D. Find jack D. Sudo find jack D. Where does jack D go? And this is going to be an issue because if jack D's not here, which is where I thought it was going to be, then my scripts won't run. Oh yeah, so jack D doesn't even install into this directory anymore. So that's going to be an interesting issue. Since jack D doesn't go there, where does jack D go in Linux? Or Linux Mint, I should say. Jack D location Ubuntu. When in doubt, read the damn man page. Where does jack D stored? Oh, where does the actual file store? Real time temp no. Isn't there a way to find a file in Linux, like a really easy way to do it? There's a way to find files in Linux. Find name media. Find sudo find root name jack D. So does it not store? Oh my god, why can't I think of this jack D? Oh, it's not installed. Well, that'd be part of my issue. Jack D2? Jack run over the candlestick? Is that a thing? Yes. So apparently when I did the jack D install earlier, it didn't actually find jack. It did find jack. It found jack shit. Oh my god, my head hurts. So it's not jack. I never installed jack? No, I never installed jack D. Are you serious? I didn't install. Well, that'd be why I can't find jack shit, because it's not installed. User bin jack D. Hey, look, there we go. Now it's freaking there. So, when in doubt, restart again. Drink. You could use the locate command. I think the find that command works. I told you it's jack. It's always jack. Install all the jack. God, my head hurts. So seriously, does anybody know how to change resolution? I'm still trying to figure that out. Is it a XCP&G thing? Install all the jack. Can't keep my freaking window straight. Properties. Maybe it's a freaking resolution setting. I don't know. Custom fields. I don't see anything limiting in here. I think it literally is just... I think it's something to do with... Good news is I won't feel my head soon. Great. I have a meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. too. So, let's just try. I'm sure this is going to fail miserably, because why wouldn't it? Local host 8000. Yep, still won't connect. All right, so one thing Radio, I think it was Lancashire wanted, he wanted to know how to do bulk imports. So if we go under manage host, there's Dropboxes. And Dropboxes, you can add a Dropbox and like say, this is music. And then we're going to find the path, let's just say RD transfer. We're going to make a new folder, music. So under the, I think you got to do asterisks. I forget. So we're gonna go home RD transfer music, and then you put this folder, goes in the music bed, and then hit OK, and then close. And then if we go to Rivendell library, you'll see there's nothing in here yet. So if we close this, and then, whew, my head is pounding. Holy crap. I don't drink that often, so, what I just set that up as? God. Rivendell, admin, host, Dropboxes, home, RD transfer. So we go into the other folder, home, RD, oh, RD transfer, music. Now in a different folder, I have a bunch of music that I've downloaded, all copyright free, I should add. And I'm going to just copy or drag over. I don't think this is going to work. I think I messed up something. What did I do? I can't remember if you have to actually do this or I forget. It's been a while. Close. I can't remember if you got to. I don't think that works though. I think I did that wrong. Ah, crap. No, on when you install Rivendell on the desktop, there's a manual. Oh my god, I can't focus. I don't think this is going to work, but let me just try it again. Like I said, I don't think this is going to work. I think this is going to break. I know it works. I just don't remember the actual freaking thing to make it work. So yeah, here's the operations guide. They give you versions, or they give you, you know, with the when you install it. So if we go in here to go find, where's the find? Dropbox. I don't think. I don't know why that doesn't work then, because that should work. Probably got to reboot the computer if I'm guessing now. I think you got to, whenever you make changes to certain things, you get to reboot the Rivendell. That's the wrong thing. You don't need that. You need oh, I don't remember what to freaking do on this thing. I have to go back and look. I'm betting this is still broke. Yep, they're still there. So remove them all out. Yep. Oh wait, did some of them actually go in? There's no way this just worked. Nope, I didn't think so. All right, well, yeah, it's not a real Dropbox. It's where you drop files. God. Linux Mint change resolution. Command line, there we go. So Jason's lab was right about the whole what to type in, but I'm not understanding why it didn't work. Well, first of all, there's no HDMI, so I'm not quite sure why I'm typing that. Oh, it's virtual one. Well, that'd be why. Output virtual one mode 1920 by 1080. Cannot find mode. Really? Why not? So it's a virtual server issue. Well, that's gonna suck. How do I get... Well, shit. Is this gonna really break the whole damn thing? Like, there's no way to get past this? No, that remote locate the Dropbox. Well, I mean, in theory, if you mapped the remote location as a path, yes, you'd have to map it though as a like, path within Linux. So if Linux can get to it. All right, yeah, it's not. Well, no, that's the problem. It's because it's not. I need to go. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna call it a night. I'm. We've been over 2 hours. I am having a headache. I'm stuck. I don't know how to fix this resolution issue. Um, and I got to figure out how to tie it with glass gutter. I'm sure I'm doing something wrong, obviously. Um, so, thank you all for being here. I hopefully learned something. Hopefully you had fun. Um, maybe I don't think we'll be back next week because it'll be Labor Day, and I think we'll be gone. So I don't think we'll be back next Monday. Um, hopefully after that, I could be wrong. Let me check my calendar. Uh, my calendar September is very very busy, like every day busy kind of thing. Um, so yeah, I mean, I might be back next. I may be back on the 11th. I doubt I'm back next week. I really don't think I'll be back next week. So anyway, want to thank you all for being here. I hope you had fun. If you did, give it a like, comment down below. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Have a good night.